But today's story is about a city that has never given up hope of returning to football greatness. And this year, they finally did. Say hello to Thep Xanh Nam Dinh FC, the 23-24 V.League 1 champions in Vietnam. Let me tell you, it wasn't always easy. There were many times where it seemed Nam Dinh were over. But the club's incredibly passionate fans never gave up hope. Nam Dinh had two golden generations in the past, one in the early 80s that culminated in the club's first and only V.League 1 title until this year, back in 1985, and then the early 2000s, which saw the club finish second twice and third place one more time. But then came desperate times. Nam Dinh were relegated in back-to-back seasons down to the third tier. They were stuck in the mire and took them 6 years before they finally worked their way back to the top division. So now that you have some historical context, let's dive into the season Nam Dinh finally earned the silverware they were craving for. Well, actually, let's start a bit earlier. 2 seasons before, actually, in 2022. The club was underperforming, winning only 3 points in the club's first 6 games of the season, and without a win yet. When things didn't improve by August, Nam Dinh took the hard decision and sacked club legend coach Nguyen Van Sai, who was born and raised in the city and played for the club his whole career, going between a technical director and a coach for many years after retiring, actually overseeing the return of the club to the V.League 1. The club appointed the ambitious Vu Hong Viet, who went up the ranks of the Vietnam national team from the under-15 to become the assistant coach of Park Hang-seo at the senior team. The appointment was a stroke of brilliance, and Hong Viet immediately stabilized the ship, winning his first 2 games for the club. That is, after the club won only 2 of the 12 games before his arrival. Nam Dinh weren't great, but managed to finish the season in 12th, a point above Saigon FC, who got relegated and dissolved at the end of the season. Anyway, the season after, Nam Dinh had been much better. The club completely restructured and recruited some extremely impressive players. Vietnam national team goalkeeper Tran Nguyen Man as club captain, and midfielder Ho Kak Wok arrived from champions Viteb. Centre-back Duong Tan Ho and Brazilian attacking midfielder Henry Araujo da Silva arrived from Binh Dinh, and more, helping the club finishing the season 5th following a solid season throughout. In the transfer window before the season in which our story takes place, the club made some more high-profile signings in an effort to build on the momentum from the previous season. The club brought back Brazilian striker Rafaelson, who played for the club in 2020 and finished his previous season at Binh Dinh as the league top scorer, to reunite with his friends Tan Hao and Hendrio. They were joined by another Binh Dinh player, Lai Kong Quang An. The club did a step more and brought Vietnam international winger Nguyen Van Tuan, who arrived from Seoul Eland from K-League 2, then also a couple of players from each of Hanoi FC and Duong Han Jilai, and now you have a squad that has the quality and depth to compete for the title. And so the season started, and Nam Dinh immediately took off, giving a sneak peek to its potential of making it an unforgettable season. 4 wins in the first 4 games of the season. The first game was an indicator of the main thing that will follow the club for the whole season: character. Nam Dinh managed to get themselves out of rough situations again and again, and the first game of the season had exactly that, with a bit of luck too. Nam Dinh attacked and attacked some more, and should have had more than a 1-0 lead at halftime, from a lovely Hendrio counter-attack goal. But when you don't score, you concede, and right at the start of the second half, legendary striker Wang Vu Samson scored the equalizer after a big mistake by goalkeeper and captain Tran Nguyen Man. Nam Dinh kept going for it, but just couldn't find the net, until in the extra time of the extra time, in the 95th minute, probably the last possession of the game, it seemed the ball hit the hand of a defender. The ref initially did not give a penalty, but after a lengthy VAR check it was given, and Rafaelson powered it into the left corner. After that Quang Nam drama, Nam Dinh had it a bit easier against Can Hoa, Ho Chi Minh City FC and Hong Lin Ha Tin, putting the club at the top of the table, mainly thanks to their 2 Brazilians, Rafaelson with 5 goals and an assist, and Hendrio with 3 goals and 2 assists. Then came the champions, Kongan Hanoi, in a big challenge that could determine where the season is going, and things were not going Nam Dinh's way. After 85 minutes, the club was down 2-0, and the game looked quite done. But this Nam Dinh never gives up, and who else than Rafaelson came to their rescue. An incredible header cut the lead in half, and then in overtime, just like in the first game of the season, another penalty given by VAR, and again Rafaelson fires it in. After losing for the first time of the season against second place Vietnamese Binh Duong, who surpassed them in the table, losing their first place for the first time since game week 1, where they were second on goal difference, the reaction was tremendous. 2 very dominant 3-0 wins and another 3-1 win got them back to the first place within a week, and they have not lost that first place for the rest of the season. Now, I don't want to go game by game, but I do want to give a couple of more examples of the famous Nam Dinh character. Still in the first round, Nam Dinh hosted title rivals Hanoi FC in a crucial game. The game was tied at 1-1 when Hanoi FC got the lead in the 93rd minute. Now, you think that should be enough to guarantee a win, but not with this team. Rafaelson scored after a brilliant quick counterattack, showing all of his skill and composure. Then, at the dying moments of the game, Nam Dinh had done it. What a comeback! When Van V from a Rafaelson assist, the goal was initially ruled out for offside, but VAR again intervenes and gives it 3-2 to Nam Dinh. A week later, and again an overtime winning goal. This time Van Vuto, scoring in the 95th minute to lead a man-down Nam Dinh to victory against Song Lam Wean. So anyway, at the end of the first round, Nam Dinh with 29 points in 13 games, scoring an incredible 30 goals, Rafaelson scoring 13 of them. Vietnamese Binh Duong were in second place with 26, while Kongan Hanoi and Tan Hoa both with 22 points. So the gap between the top 2 is small, but then from the third place it's already getting substantial. The second half of the season starts, and again Nam Dinh plays Hanoi FC, this time in Hanoi. And this time the score is 1-1 when we reach overtime, of course from another Rafaelson goal. And again a 95th minute goal. This time it is centre back Lucas Alves, who signed for the club mid-season, right before the previous Hanoi FC game actually, who went to support the attack in desperation. In his first 3 games for the club, Lucas managed to get a red card and score a goal. What a roller coaster. So the season kept going, and Nam Dinh was quite unstable. The club lost at home to Binh Dinh, but then beat Kongan Hanoi and Vietnamese Binh Duong, who completely collapsed in the second half of the season. Rafaelson scored his first hat-trick in that game. Then Nam Dinh had a run of 3 games without a win, including 2 losses. But then, in the second half of that second loss in a row, something seemed to click. Rafaelson scored 2 goals to get the club back from a 4-0 to a 4-2. It wasn't enough to get anything from that game, but it seems to have brought back some hope. The next match was the Rafaelson explosion, scoring 5 goals, and this time getting Nam Dinh back from a 2-0 deficit to win the game 5-2. Absolutely incredible. And some of his goals in that game were quality. Check out this insane bicycle kick right before halftime. It's an absolutely tremendous goal that can be watched again and again and again, and looks even better from every new angle we watch it. Also have a look at how high he jumped in this fantastic headed goal to make it 3-2. Then Nam Dinh drew 2 games in a row and won another one to reach the game before last with a 4-point gap up top from Binh Dinh, the only team who can catch up with them, knowing that if they win their game against Can Hoa, they will win the whole league. Binh Dinh meanwhile played away against Vietnamese Binh Duong. Both games start, and 5 minutes in, Vietnamese Binh Duong take the lead against Binh Dinh. As things stand, the result in the Nam Dinh game will not make any difference. But that is not how a team wants to win the league, especially one with so much character and passion. So, Nam Dinh also takes the lead. In the 13th minute, Henry a goal. And then doubled the lead from Rafaelson. Min Loi Wen clawed one back right before halftime, but that was it. The second half was all Nam Dinh. Rafaelson scored the club's 3rd, Lucas Alves the 4th, and Rafaelson completed a hat-trick for a magnificent 5-1 win to guarantee the league title. Binh Dinh managed to score and equalize, but that was too little and too late. The season had seen the Nam Dinh fans at their best. As the weeks went by and it was clear that this is a unique year, the crowd, which has been loyal and vocal anyway, reacted, and it was magnificent. Thep Xanh Nam Dinh had the 4th highest average attendance of all ASEAN clubs in 2023-24, and the most in Vietnam by a mile. Finally, the club had done it. The sleeping giant had awoken, and the crowd was there in the masses to celebrate. This was a champion of all-out attack. Nam Dinh scored 60 goals in 26 games, the most in the league by far. Actually, their defense was quite atrocious, conceding 38 goals, making them the 4th worst defense in the league. But I guess it worked, and playing attacking football is way more entertaining. Rafaelson finished the season with a historic 31 goals, breaking the record for most goals in the season. Rafaelson won Player of the Season and Goal of the Season for his incredible strike against Tanhua. Hendrio finished the season with a double figures of 10 goals and 13 assists, while Nguyen Van Thuan finished with 5 goals and 4 assists. Rafaelson and Nguyen Van Thuan were chosen for the team of the season. Honestly, not sure how Hendrio was not there, but I guess that's what they picked. And Vu Hong Viet completed the awards as the manager of the season. Let's end with the top 5 goals of the season for this magnificent club. But before we do so and send you back to your day, we would ask you to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Let us know how far Nam Dinh can go in next season's AFC Champions League 2, and can they repeat this season? So now for the goals. Number 5. I just couldn't choose between several Rafaelson goals here, but I decided to go with this powerful strike from the edge of the box to the top corner. A great goal to give Nam Dinh the lead against title rivals Hanoi FC. Number 4. A beautiful Hendrio close-range free kick to the top corner. So much precision in this awesome strike. Nam Dinh might have lost the game to Binh Dinh, but at least they have this stunner. Number 3. It's the 95th minute and Nam Dinh are with 10 men. They've got a free kick, but it's blocked. The defense is unable to clear and it reaches the right back Van Vuto. He shoots with his left foot, but it is blocked directly to his right foot, and with one swift touch he cracks it to the bottom right corner to give Nam Dinh the very late winner against Song Lam Wei An. Number 2, a great double pass between Ho Kak Wok and Rafaelson gets the ball past all the defense, leaving Ho Kak Wok in a tight angle, but he manages to lift the ball past the Hai Pong goalkeeper to the far corner and makes it 3-0. Number 1, what else could it be? We've shown you this goal already, but we've just got to show it again. What an incredible bicycle kick. A beautiful Sangalo. Rafaelson against Tanhua. Honestly, just sit here and enjoy it. Thank you for watching. For the story of Rafaelson, click on the card that should appear on the bottom left of the screen, and remember, football is everywhere.